the Futurist Mindset Show featuring Golden State Energy. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I'm here to introduce you to our host, Reagan Rodriguez. Reagan is a futurist who teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. Hi, Reagan.
Hello, Tessa.
I'm excited for you to introduce our guest today.
Yeah, and this is one of the projects literally that I'm the most excited about, one of the largest ones, and I wanted to have Tom back on here again. For those of you that saw, we had him last week. We had some issues with Wi-Fi energy. I got a lot of people that did still watch it. And Tom, I got a lot of good feedback. I know that you're like me, we tend to be our own worst critic. Tom thought he maybe didn't do as good of a job of conveying the message. Well, you did. People liked it. So we're just doing a 2.0 version where I've got a few questions here in front of me. And the first one is that I'm anxious to hear this question. When a hospital loses power, let's assume for 10 seconds, what actually happens, Tom?
That's the industry I worked in for a while,
Yes.
preventing outages and demand-side management, so on. We'll get into that. When a hospital loses power, and I've been in actual situations where that happened, the building management system immediately activates the diesel generators, which by state law requires a start within 10 seconds. And the full supply, in other words, it's supposed to supply the hospital with full power to selected circuits. The 10 seconds is way too long, actually, if you look at it. I've seen this in a hospital. The consequences of losing that power in 10 seconds can cost a life.
No kidding.
It can. And at a critical moment when somebody's on the operating table, all the lights go out. Can you imagine a doctor there with the scissors getting ready to do some cuts? And the operating table is one issue. A battery failure on, let's say, a respirator, a ventilator, a dialysis machine, or a EKG. Not that I mentioned that only selected circuits. So the entire hospital is not energized. Not all circuits are supported by the diesel backup generator.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tom. And as you stated, because you worked in that industry for a while, that's something you know about. Tessa, I want to give you a chance to maybe ask a question, because I know before we kind of hit live or record on here, we were talking about energy shortage.
Yeah.
My question. Go ahead and ask that question. Sure.
Yes, my question, Tom, would you agree that we don't really have an energy shortage? We have a reliability shortage?
Tessa, you're absolutely right on the reliability shortage, but we do also have energy shortage. Technology has required more power, and grocery stores, let's say, have walk-in freezers. They have, coolers, refrigeration. Homes have these devices that control most everything in the home, including security cameras, security systems, including the electric toothbrush, and the front door. So in strip malls, casinos, and data centers have are energy intensive. So we build in the desert to make it habitable. Well, we are consumers of electricity. How do you cool that area down? There you go. More energy. Yes, it is both a shortage and a reliability issue.
Thanks for that. Tom, I know that most companies sell kind of their energy storage or they do some kind of consulting. Can you talk a little bit about the fragmentation? When I use that word, what I mean is the fragmentation the real hidden risk? in energy infrastructure?
Right. Well, let's just take for an example a door-to-door salesman knocks on your
Okay.
door and says, "Oh, I see you don't have any solar panels on your roof. I just happen to have a few today, and I'm willing to sell them to you for a real cheap price." And the government pays for half of it. In the past, the government actually, between state and federal, used to pay up to 70% of the total cost through tax credits. This has changed some of the dynamics in the utility industry. And the utilities used to have peak hours during other times of the day. They've changed them because the dynamics have changed. People have a lot of photovoltaics on their roofs, but they changed it to where, okay, you have photovoltaics. Let's see, when doesn't the sun shine? Oh, that's right, after you get off of work. So then that's where you hit the peak hours. They follow the curve. So that means you have to go back to the guy or person or company that installed your solar system and say, "Hey, by the way, do you happen to have any battery storage?" And so he says, "Of course I do." And that's going to be costing you a little bit more. And then you add to that the unbundled charges that the utilities have gone through. So that results in many line items and rate increases. Utilities are trying to keep their market share, which is obvious. They're trying to survive. And they started their time of use and remote electric meters. So they can watch you in real time. They separated, let's say, transmission and distribution into two related profit centers. So in reality, you're absolutely right. We're short of energy, but we're also short of utility reliability.
Thanks on that, Tom. I know just a few minutes before we again hit the record button, we were kind of joking a little bit on data centers because Tessa was mentioning, gosh, if I own something, I'd like to own a data center, just meaning she's a little bit more of a techie. And so I kind of teased her, for those of you that clearly were not on before. And I said, Tessa, the reason why I'm laughing is that say anything about what kind of day you've had? You're like, a data center. I think I'd rather done that. So why don't I'll let you ask the questions.
Yes. Yeah. If I'm a data center operator, do I really care about cheaper electricity, or do I care about the guaranteed uptime? Obviously, you have to make customers happy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Tessa, we have a job opening.
I know. There we go.
Data center developers, operators, and owners are all scrambling to identify and develop their own power supplies. Today, I just saw an article about them now considering nuclear power, small power plants in the nuclear industry. That's still years away. The government put a whole bunch of money into it. But, they also know that transmission and distribution grid cannot support their operation. This is why they're doing this. Now, they're trying to hit all nails with one hammer. It doesn't work that way. So they know that what they have will be expensive power. Talk about nuclear. That's expensive. And then the value of their operations requires a 99.9999, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, driven by N1 reliability at whatever cost. It doesn't matter to them. It's the value of their uptime, and they can have no power glitches. And it requires computer-grade power. So you can't put in somebody that's on the circuit that keeps on doing startups of machines that creates those problems. So many are turning to redundant turbines, microgrids, batteries, photovoltaics, and those small nuclear reactors I mentioned. So here's one of the things I mentioned earlier. TerraPower filed for a permit in 2024 for the construction of a new set of power plants. And they're about $4 billion a plant. So it's not an inexpensive proposition. They're looking at 2030 as startup time. Microsoft co-founder is Bill Gates, who is eyeing the nuclear generation as a power source. But he's still missing a few key items. But that's all right. We'll let him go through those learning experiences. But yes, absolutely. They need quality power 24/7 with redundancy. We help that transition.
Great.
Thanks, Tom. I was just now thinking that what you're helping us see here is that the solid state batteries, I mean, it really is a better battery. And I'd like to hear you talk to us a little bit about the enabling factor, meaning what makes those microgrids more viable, kind of long term.
Well, okay. See, that goes, everything that Bill Gates is doing is not necessarily, and some of it I may not see, but what he's doing on the surface doesn't look viable to me. And he thinks that may take care of it. Batteries are a chemical process. They've evolved through history and provide useful power. The key to that have the chemistry that is low cost, recyclable, non-flammable, reliable, fast charging, and literally lasts a lifetime. This is what we're looking for. The solid state battery is such a battery. And I can use it in many other industries, just not, I mean, it doesn't have to be just data centers. It can be capable of eliminating the gas engine, as an example, in vehicles and trucks in the near term. Batteries are used in surveillance, drones, home backup systems, computers, motorcycles, and commercial industrial sites. The limits, it has unlimited applications. Now I have a note I took today, and I may refer back to it. And it basically says that our battery has 11,000 cycles. 100,000 cycles. And what it does is compare it to what's currently on the market. You get the maximum of 5,000 cycles. So think of this. Think of something lasting, one person said 821 years in this kind of real life thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody's going to last that long, but you can pass it on to as an inheritance.
Wow.
Yeah. I think what's the other thing that comes to mind with people that are not as educated on this is they might think, well, what's the safety on that? So can you talk on that, meaning the thermal stability? I know there's even insurance advantages. Do you want to talk on that a little bit?
Well, oh, absolutely. I get so excited when you get to this point. The battery has been tested, our battery has been tested to high temperatures and found to be very stable with input voltages and output voltages. So it does, and we found the hotter it ran, beyond what a lithium ion would do, because a lithium ion would explode in fire. This one ran much more efficiently, so at higher temperatures. So the lithium ion is less energy dense, and theoretically it can be improved, but it has a history of fires. Fire departments urging people that have lithium ion powered bicycles, and that's all that's on the market right now, to park them outside the garage. Don't put them in the house. And so there's a lot going on there. Now, what if you park your, electric vehicle in the garage? They caution you on that too. So, and on the airlines, when you're taking your laptop computers, they're having increased scrutiny on those. You can't pack them away where you can't see them. In other words, in the in with the rest of the baggage, you have to have them nearby, and if something catches fire, of course, you have a problem. And so they're actually watching for these things, and it has happened in certain cases.
Yeah. On that note, I think an appropriate next question is, when we think about grid instability, how that's going to just increase.
Mm-hmm.
Think about weather. We think about cyber threats. Demand for microgrids isn't going to decrease, right? It's only going to accelerate. Can you talk on that, on grid instability and that increasing?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Everything accelerates right now in the energy field. It is coming to the top of the heap, top of discussion. Demand side management, microgrids, batteries, photovoltaics, and all of the above are on the table when it comes to data centers. And it boils down to which is the best tool to provide you with stable power. Well, absolutely, the distribution grid will survive for homes and small businesses, but it's not there for data centers, for sure. And it may not be there for high energy users. The solid state battery is the best position to capture the large share of the market across many of these verticals. Our battery is a small module. When combined, putting them together, linking them together, it can produce milliwatts, watts, kilowatts, megawatts, or gigawatts for a long lifetime. That's where we're at today.
Yeah.
That's what excites me.
Yeah, here's what I got out of what you just shared, Tom, that what you're saying is that electric companies are not going to be able, or they cannot really keep up with the growth. So then what are the options for a developer to power, let's say, a shopping center, or for the economy to grow without reliable electricity?
Well, there's a number of things that somebody can do. The grid is certainly facing challenges due to its age, infrastructure, and so on. So how would you, as a business owner, prevent outages for, say, your grocery store or what have you? Well, batteries would come right to the surface right away. Because you have glitches in the power, and our battery actually transitions you through a minor glitch, or if there's a power outage, it transitions you into a microgrid, which has other resources on it, be it turbines, be it photovoltaics, be it solar thermal. It has the ability to transition you without you even knowing there's been a power outage. And we can't fix the 60s grid with paper megawatts. That's what they're trying to do. There's a huge demand now driven by the growth of the data centers, which has only opened our eyes only recently. I mean, think a couple of years back, this wouldn't even be a topic of discussion. But we're finding that the mid 20th century concrete foundations are crumbling under our old grid. And one example, and I've worked with right across the street from the Cal ISO, which is the grid operator for California. So I got to be able to get in there and watch over their shoulders, and it was quite an operation. California, the grid operator, had to curtail 2.5 million megawatt hours of renewable power due to constraints. That means it was totally lost. That investment in that equipment lost its value that day because they couldn't move that electricity around. So, we're double counting resilience if we think we can build a digital frontier on a hardened grid that uses the same limited bucket of physical atoms. It can't move them from one end to the other. And in California, I know exactly where the constraint points are. They're mid-California, where they all come together and go to Pacific Gas and Electric and SoCal Gas and so on. So these are all constraint points. I should have said SoCal Edison, not the gas. These are all constraint points, and you, as a business owner, need to look at your options. And one of the biggest options is the battery.
Yeah. As a last question to kind of wrap up here, when I think of quantum computing, right, that sounds very futuristic. So does AI-driven processes. Is this really all possible just by manufacturing a battery?
Absolutely. It is, and we're considering using it, and the efficiencies from this AI-driven process improves productivity. It improves the flow of material both in and out, and it supplies. It's for it actually supplies the supply chain optimization and logistics. So we're looking at using it. It's a service provided, and I believe the control room is going to be able to optimize our flow both in and out of the factory. And that includes everything in between. So yes, I believe it's going to have a positive effect on us. And if you notice in some of the stuff going on worldwide, that's exactly what we as a country are using, is AI-driven theories, which are now reality, and creating a winning game here.
Thank you on that. You know what's interesting is I know, Tessa, I've shared with you in the past that when you see all these things on YouTube, which is my version of the news on wars and this that are going on, that, maybe once or twice I might have typed into Chat GPT, is the world coming to an end? Are we, yesterday I saw on YouTube about, the bombings that are happening here, so I did type in, what are the odds we could see bombings hitting us or it now going this way? And it said the chance of that happening are none. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if Iran? What if these people did? And it said, look, you guys, in America, we have the strongest military. Even if someone did shoot a missile, we would see it coming. It would do this. So I kept saying, well, isn't it possible, though, that, and it kept saying, no, it's not. And then I said, okay, so what if every country was to be against us and they all wanted to? It said, there just really is no way America has the strongest military. And then it said, now, if you want to worry about something, you really think it's our energy system. Mm-hmm. And it said, the chances of other countries bombing America and killing them that way is not high. What is high is the fact that in America, we use so much energy that we could end up killing ourselves because we'd have no electric. So it said there's a greater chance of having a blackout than any bullets hitting us. And I thought, isn't that interesting? I mean, I didn't go there, right? I was just saying, well, what are the chances that, what are the odds of this? They said, no. The only odds of death happening, like war would be if our electric was gone.
why
Isn't that
you need-
interesting,
That's
Tom?
why
Does
you
that
need backups, right, Tom?
well, does that
Backup
surprise you,
batteries.
Tom?
What you're talking about, Reagan, is AI, and this is how AI works. It actually, it's working for you. It can work for Golden State Energy in our factory, and make us more productive, make us have a clean throughput from beginning to end, and it takes care of all the details in between. Amazing, but you still need manpower to run the machines, that is the AI, if you will, and making sure that it's staying on track. So you're just changing your job description, essentially, from, well, a laborer to a computer operator. Same thing in data centers. I mean, you have a lot of people watching the keyboards and so on. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Thank you. And on that note, Tessa, why don't you close us out of here like you always do?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Tom. We enjoyed having you on and learning more about your project. If you out there would like to find out more about this project, you can go to Reagan's website. It's Fifth Avenue Capital's website, 5thaavc.com. Reach out to Reagan and he'll get you in touch with Tom. So thank you so much. And thank you, Reagan, for these shows every week. So we'll see you.